A lark and her momster are coming your way. Gonna tell it how it is, so won't you join us today? And now I'm flying, defying gravity. And yes, I'm recording now.
I guess you
And
can...
nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. I'm done.
I guess everybody can tell where we were today.
Where did we go today?
We went to see Wicked.
Wicked! It was so good.
It was really, really
so
good.
good.
And it was just a really good reminder of all the stuff that's happening in the world right now, especially in this country right now, and how we can't just sit back and take it.
No,
we really
can't
have
be asleep to it. We have to be the alphabas of the world.
We have to be the alphabets of
Yes.
the world. Yes, we cannot be the Galindas.
No, not the Galindas, the Galindas. But who are we?
We
Who
are.
am I?
Who are you? Well, you're a lark.
And you're a
Momster.
And welcome to our show. This is a Lark and her Momster.
And we have a podcast.
We sure, well, it's pretty obvious since
Really?
we're
You think
recording
so?
on it.
I don't know.
And we're recording on the Day of Thanks, which I don't completely celebrate, but I consider it a gratitude day.
Well, it is the Day of Thanks, and I think had you not had the kind of week that you had, we would have been in New Orleans celebrating with friends, and it would have been a real Thanksgiving.
True.
With all of the
things.
typical
Yes.
types of New Orleans Thanksgiving food and lots of fun, but that didn't happen, so we'll have to go again soon.
We will.
Yeah.
But we did, I had a crazy week. I won't get into it, but let's just say medical stuff is fun.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And I am grateful that everything went well.
I am grateful that everything went well as well.
And I am grateful that you tried so hard to not eat in front of me while I was going through my days of not being allowed to eat food.
Yes, yes, before your
Thing that we
your
want.
thing,
Yes.
your procedure.
Yes, we'll call
Procedure.
it that. Cool.
Anyway, so it seemed fitting, since we're recording on Thanksgiving, to focus this episode on gratitude. But before we get into gratitude, why don't you tell us about this amazing wine that we're drinking?
It is so good.
And
so,
I just want to say, we started early because the theater that we go to has a bar.
They do.
And so before we went in to see the movie, we each had about a 9-ounce serving of prosecco. So
Wow, that's so specific.
You mean Pacific?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we had wine before, and now we are having this wine, which is very fitting. Maybe tell them.
So, before my procedure, I was already having a little bit of difficulty in just life in general. And then I had to have this procedure for a surgery that I have coming up in January. And I couldn't really eat food. I couldn't eat solid food for a couple days. And then I couldn't eat food at all for a couple of days. And so my mom came to me and presented this wine. And she said, this is for when you're able to, eat and drink regularly again. And it's called Rough Day. And it is a Rough Day Sparkling Extra Brut, and it's a rough day when you just can't. And it's a refreshingly bright sparkler with inviting floral aromas and citrus fruit flavors made using the charmat method, like prosecco. So it's not quite prosecco. It's technically prosecco. It's a Brut.
It's a Brut, but it's made like a prosecco.
Like a prosecco, exactly.
With the charmat.
It is like a charmat.
Charmat.
It's so good.
Yes. Say that again.
Charmat.
Yes. It is good, but what's really fun and what drew me to it was this cute little
It's got a what is it,
painting
bulldog?
of a bulldog
An
of
English
some kind.
bulldog.
I don't know if it's an English bulldog or some kind of a mastiff. But
Y'all will have to Google it.
It's really cute. We'll post the photo
We will.
somewhere.
It's very cute.
It's very cute. So anyway, well, happy Thanksgiving, honey.
Happy Gratitude Day, Mom, and I'm very grateful for you.
I'm very grateful for you, honey. Very grateful that you take me to the movies.
I'm grateful that you come to the movies with me.
Yes, and
And the wide variety of movies that you come to with me, from Deadpool to Beetlejuice to Wicked.
I'm open to all things.
They've all been great.
Yeah. So we, always try to bring some research into the podcast so that we're not just talking.
Even though we know you like it. I don't know that they like it. I'm hoping that
I don't know.
like
Not
it.
everybody likes my laugh, but that's okay.
Well, they can go to Oz.
Yeah.
And not the fun part.
Yeah, and not the fun part. They can go follow the yellow brick road because that's the only way that you're going to get anywhere in Oz, and it's not the right way. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's just going to take you to doing things the same old way, and the way that
we really went to see Wicked.
We really did.
So gratitude. We practice gratitude a lot in our daily lives. I know I do a gratitude list every morning, even if it's just 3 to 5 things.
I do too. I have for many years because early on when you were starting, no more wine for the Momster. When you were starting therapy and I went into therapy to be collaborative with you and to figure out how to help you more, I was told one of the best things you can do from a therapeutic standpoint is to find a way to not focus as much on the negative and to find the good.
Right.
And the best way to do that was by just journaling 3 to 5 things on a daily basis that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that, and it's been, I don't know.
A long time. More than 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been closer to 14.
Yeah. I know this year for me, it's been very important to do this as a daily practice. It's almost... We've talked about this before in other episodes, but it's like a ritual for me. Every morning I wake up, I do my gratitude list, I do some breathing, and with gratitude comes manifestation, but that's, a little bit separate. We're really focusing on the practice of gratitude today. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happens when you do practice gratitude?
So I always go to the infamous Google.
The wonderful wizard of Google.
Yes, because I don't have access to a university and can't do the peer review types of research studies that I would like to do, but there's a lot of good stuff on the Google. Much as I don't like the Google in its monopoly, I still use it.
Yes.
So,
what did you find on the Googles?
What did I find on the Googles?
Yeah.
I first found an AI overview of the research that's there, and I thought it did a great job of encapsulating all of the research.
Okay.
And it says when you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters associated with feelings of happiness and pleasure, essentially rewarding us for focusing on positive aspects of life.
That's true.
Yeah. And this in turn improves mood, reduces stress, and it creates a more positive overall outlook. When gratitude is practiced regularly, the effect is amplified, essentially training your brain to focus more on the positive.
I would agree with that.
I do too.
I really would.
And it's sometimes hard. And I've noticed that if I skip a week or two, it's so much easier for me to fall down that negative.
Oh, the negative rabbit hole?
Oh my God, yes. So it really does have to be a regular practice.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I feel the same way. I also notice that when I practice gratitude, and gratitude doesn't even have to be essentially, I'm grateful, for example, like I'll say I'm grateful for you or Luna, or sometimes I just say I'm grateful to wake up to a new day. I'm grateful that, it's a cooler day. I'm grateful to have a job. You can be grateful for so many things that we don't often think about and kind of take for granted.
Yeah, I often say I'm grateful for the view out of my bedroom window. Hopefully no one is walking back there because I don't have curtains on that window.
So anyway,
but
imagine that.
I love waking up and just looking out and seeing the sky and the trees and their different seasons and the birds, and it's just the weather.
Yeah.
I love every day and that window.
Oh.
And it just reminds me of how lucky I am to be able to own my own home.
Exactly.
To have a window that allows me to feel safe and to have an outlook on the world that really does brings some peace. So I love my window.
You really do. I'm grateful for food. So. But no, really, you think about these things, and especially going a couple of days without eating, I'm really grateful that I have the kind of life where I can go to the store and get food if I need it,
Or the McDonald's.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Which we don't endorse that you do, but I was really craving an egg biscuit. Just egg and just biscuit. I didn't even put anything on that biscuit.
It was the first thing she wanted.
It was the driest biscuit, y'all, but when I was able to eat, I was like, that's what I want. So we got it.
And we were lucky enough to be able to do that because not everybody has that same ability.
You're right.
And yet sometimes the people who have the least in life are also
the ones who appreciate the most.
They're the ones who are most grateful for the smallest things.
Oh, I know.
So part of my research involved a study that was done through the Greater Good Science Center at Berkeley. And they posted an article on the Google written by Joshua Brown, PhD, and Joel Wong, PhD, from Indiana University. And what's different about this particular article in their research was they researched how gratitude impacts our mental health, and specifically people who are struggling with that negative mental health, that negative outlook on life, to see if it could make a difference. Because a lot of the research that was out there was just focusing on general people who were already fairly positive.
Yeah.
And so this was interesting to me because it found that gratitude unshackles us from toxic emotions.
It really does. And I want to speak to this because I struggle a lot with my own mental health, as I've talked about in previous episodes. And I have found that in my practice, again, 3 to 5 things, it doesn't take you don't have to write a list of 10 things you're grateful for, but 3 to 5 things, it changes your mood. It really can. And even in the moment when I'm kind of struggling, I have either you or Adam or someone will remind me like, okay, well, what's one thing you're grateful for? And then it kind of brings me back to, I'm grateful to have you in that moment. To remind me that, like it sucks now, but, after this, you can watch a show that'll make you happy or sing a song that'll make you happy or, I have a good life.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that is very true when you've eaten. When you haven't eaten,
I'm a little less...
A little grumpy.
A
little less able to find the good.
It's hard when I don't... Yeah, and I said I'm very grateful to be able to have the life where I can eat. Food,
yes,
and everyone does.
Food is good, especially for you.
Okay.
What the article talked about was how when we have toxic emotions, when we are struggling with that, that going down the rabbit hole kind of mindset where we're going to find everything that's wrong with us and everything around surrounding us in a negative place, that the more you can focus on the good, the more you can find things to be grateful for, simple things like you said before, the more it starts to kind of shift that mindset. The second thing that they found is that gratitude helps even if you don't share it.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't always share what I'm grateful for. I keep it to myself sometimes.
Right. Write it down. Keep it in a journal. You can write a letter to someone to let them know that you're grateful for them, but you never have to send it.
No.
Right. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
And you can be great. What's interesting is you can be grateful for events that have happened that maybe haven't always been good events, but they've taught you something.
That's very true. Very true. We often learn from our mistakes.
Right.
And the things that have been difficult in life. We learn more from those than we do from the things that have come easily.
So it's really interesting because people talk about like, oh, I regret that, I regret that, I regret that. And then I've heard people say, I regret nothing because it led me to where I am now.
Amen.
And
totally.
I have to say that there are times when I've looked back and I've like, oh, I wasted a year doing that. I wasted a year on this person. And yet, in a way, I've still made all the dreams I've wanted come true, even if they weren't in the way I thought they were going to be. But things have happened, and they've also been lessons that I've learned to help me be who I am now. And that's
very true.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for every opportunity I've had, every, lesson I've learned, every experience I've had, whether it's good or bad, because, wow, that just rhymed. Sorry.
But you love to
Grateful
rhyme.
for everything I've had, any experience, good or bad. I'm sorry I'm in a state of wicked. And now you have to listen.
Yeah. Yes, you're back in your musical theater days.
If you could sing,
Your Loxo
you would be
days.
too.
Yes, your
Yes.
Loxo days, musical theater.
Yes.
Ah,
I love
anyway,
musical theater since I was a kid.
You have.
I did.
Yes, I'll never forget the first time I took you to a show on Broadway, thanks to your Auntie Pat,
Yes.
who got us the tickets.
Grateful.
But we went to see Annie on Broadway.
I wanted to be Annie, but I don't look like her at all. It's really just uncanny how I don't look like Annie.
But you could have.
I was in Annie in high school.
Yes.
I played Grace.
Yes.
And you did my hair so well. We're totally off topic. Back to gratitude.
But it's kind of fun.
Tell me a little bit about the benefits of gratitude. And I know some people kind of, I've done this where I've stopped the practice because I'm like, I don't feel it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes
Time.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things that came out of this research, is that it shows that the benefits do take time. The more you practice, the better you get. The more you practice,
Mm-hmm.
the more your brain starts to shift towards more positive thinking. It has lasting effects on the brain. And when they were talking about in that AI overview the release of dopamine and serotonin, we know that the brain actually can grow in certain areas. And if you practice gratitude over time and were to have an MRI done,
Oh, interesting.
then it
will
will show
you?
that there's more activation in the medial prefrontal cortex.
Say that again.
The
In the
medial
medial?
prefrontal cortex.
There you go.
Did I not say that before?
I eat not well.
Oh, damn wine. Anyway, that, so if scans that were done, MRIs done before practicing gratitude, and then scans after practicing gratitude over time, did show that prefrontal cortex, and we've talked about it before,
Yes.
actually has more activation. Synapses are firing in that area in a way that they weren't before. So gratitude can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try really hard today to have gratitude for the wily bitch that we were working out.
Oh my God.
Catherine.
Shout out Catherine on Obey. I'm gonna tag her when I do this episode.
Oh my God, she was about to kill me.
But we love her. We love her workouts.
I was
we
really
love her workouts.
trying to have gratitude for her, but it was a really hard thing. I'll have gratitude when I start seeing a difference in my body.
Hey, you said you did. You said you did. You said you felt a little better. I need to stop the singing.
Please. So I definitely do have seen how gratitude has impacted you. I've seen how it's impacted me. And today of all days is a good reminder to have gratitude for the people and the opportunities
Yeah.
and the
Even the opportunities that we sometimes, for example, the other day, I remember thinking, there's so many opportunities I could have taken, but I didn't out of fear, but I'm grateful for the ones I had. I got to sing behind Alanis Morissette and Kristen Chenoweth.
That's true, you did.
I was in a choir at the time, and we got to sing behind them. And I'm so, so grateful for that opportunity because who can say that? Who can say they got to, sing the choir behind Defying Gravity for Kristen Chenoweth and Alanis Morissette?
Alanis Morissette sang
Yeah.
Defying Gravity?
Yeah, she did Alphaba's part. You were in the audience, remember? She did Alphaba's part.
I forgot she did
Yeah.
Alphaba's part. Yeah.
So, and I was thinking, because, I have moments where I'm like, I didn't get as far in life as I could have, but I did a lot of really cool things in my life.
You really have. And not too many people have their graduation photo with Paul McCartney.
No,
right.
Or run into him when you're running to the bath. Literally running to the bathroom.
Literally ran into
the
him.
bathroom.
Yeah, like physically.
And
then call me afterwards and go, I just said, oh shit, in front of Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Because
I'm so graceful.
You are. Graceful and grateful. Yes, you are.
I'm graceful and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to have a mom like you who will sit down no matter what. Whether this podcast, becomes a thing or doesn't. You sit down, we have fun, we find topics to talk about, and I get to spend this time with you.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
It means a lot. I just love drinking.
I know, you do. But it's nice not drinking alone, isn't it?
It is so much better.
It's like, I'm so grateful for you, daughter.
To drink over,
to drink
with,
alone.
to drink for,
this
not alone.
This is a musical episode.
You're so funny. And clearly, you got your musical abilities from your Gami.
Probably.
Because you did not get them from your mommy.
No, not me, you.
Yeah, not me.
No,
definitely no. No, ixnay that idea.
I don't know who could sing in our family.
Your Gami could when she was younger.
Oh.
But,
you could dance.
I did. I could.
You were good.
I was.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I was good. I was okay.
You didn't do heroin, so that was the only reason why.
I didn't do heroin?
Well, everyone was so thin back then. Like dancing, remember?
It wasn't because of heroin.
Oh.
It was because of eating disorders. I didn't have an eating disorder.
Which if you do and you're listening to this, by all means, like, we're not judging you, and we love you, and if you need someone to talk to, we're here.
Yeah, definitely. But that was the thing when I was dancing back in the 70s
smoking.
And 80s. Oh, yes. And I didn't smoke either.
No.
So it was definitely my weight. Of course, now dancers can be
anything.
Any weight.
How grateful are we for that?
Yes, I am so grateful for that.
See, something else I'm grateful for that I noticed in the movie? Inclusion. And
amen. Yes.
And the fact that little girls like me, when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of people that I could look up to who looked like me or who were brown or tan or whatever. It was a little limited up until, I saw Angelina Jolie and I was like, she's different. I mean, she's still white, but she's different. Or Selma Hayek. But watching the movie today, I was like, wow, a lot of little girls are going to have someone to look up to who looks like them.
Yeah.
Or who's just, different than what we had growing up. And that's pretty cool.
It is very
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I will say, even my experiences back in the days were opportunities for me to learn and grow from. So I don't look back with regret like you were talking about earlier. Yeah. I look back and go, not everybody had those opportunities.
Right.
And your dog has a bone.
My dog does have a bone. So this episode is going to be fairly short because we are going to spend time, and by we I mean me and my mom, are going to spend time together on this holiday. I don't know why I said it like that.
I don't know why you said it like that.
We're going to spend time together forever.
Oh,
no. You're stuck with me.
Am I?
Unfortunately.
Am I?
Sadly. Don't know what else rhymes with E.
Now you know why I don't. She didn't get it from me. I will say it was really also, I was grateful because you said something earlier today about how much Shirgami would have loved to go see Wicked.
Yeah.
And she would have. So I brought her with us.
Yeah.
And she got to.
Well, because Wizard of Oz was really my introduction into singing and music.
I can remember.
It really was. I used to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow nonstop and tell the story.
Well, we were living in an apartment in New Orleans, and you were 3. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of a shotgun apartment, and that you walked in the front door, and it was living room, dining room, and then a hall, so it wasn't a traditional shotgun, a hall, and then the kitchen, and then there was, in the very back, a glassed-in porch, and I made that into a playroom for you. Not
Right.
that you played in there a lot, but
I
occasionally.
sang in there a lot.
But you went back there, and and there were 2 bedrooms and a bathroom off the hall. So it was, it was a pretty long way to the back, and we would I don't remember what it was that I used.
You were really painting a picture.
I was the DVD player. I couldn't remember.
No, there weren't DVDs back then. I'm sorry, lady. That was a VHS.
It was?
Mom, we didn't have DVDs till I was like 13.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So the VHS player was.
I'm not that young.
Anyway.
Neither are you.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Anyway, whatever it was, because I also used to play music.
Yes.
And
CD
we would get up.
player. You had a CD player and we had a VHS player. But we did have Wizard of Oz on CD.
Right.
Or tape.
It was tape.
It was tape because we're old.
No, it was The Wizard of Oz was on tape.
Yes.
But we did have CDs, and I would play the CDs. And anyway, in the front of the house, we would wake up.
Story, lady.
Long story short, or in my case, short story longer. I'm in the front of the house. I'm in the living room, and I hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I'm like, where is...
Somewhere over the rainbow.
So
Skies are blue.
Can I tell the story?
Birds fly high. Sorry.
Anyway.
Why then, oh, why can't I? Go on. Do go on.
So I'm
wish upon. I'm done. I'm done.
So I'm in the front of the house or the apartment, and I hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I'm like, where is that coming from? Because I realized that the music wasn't on the VHS. There was nothing going on, and I'm just kind of curious. So I'm following the sound of the voice, and you were in the back room singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
You could mimic Judy Garland singing that song, and you were not even 4.
And I was Dorothy for a whole ass year.
You were. Your great-grandmother made you the Dorothy outfit
I
with
had
the
the
blue
ruby red
gingham.
slippers. Toto was a cat for some weird reason.
It was a stuffed cat in a basket that you carried around, and it was Toto. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't call you anything but Dorothy.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you would say, my name is Dorothy, and you can't call me anything but Dorothy.
And I'm so demanding. I wonder who I got that from.
I can't imagine.
Can't imagine.
How did we get off on that? Oh, talking about Wicked.
Talking about Wicked.
And The Wizard of Oz.
And my Gami.
And your Gami, and you would watch The Wizard of Oz over and over and over again. And she just loved that. She loved you to pieces, and she loved your singing. So today, going to see Wicked with you and bringing her in her little tiny silver urn that I wear around my neck was just
really
very special.
It was.
Yeah, so
I cried through the whole movie.
you did.
I
You sobbed. It was a little embarrassing.
Thanks so much. I do remember at one point, I think you hear one person, me, and I'm like...
And I only screamed once, and that was when the flying monkey went through the glass, and I went, Jesus!
And she was like, and she goes very quietly, I wasn't expecting that. Needless to say, we had a good time.
We did. We had a great day, and in spite of not finding sushi and having to eat factor meals for our
Thanksgiving meal, we had great pie.
Yeah, we did.
Pie was phenomenal.
Because I remembered to pick up pumpkin pie
She
at the
did.
store.
So grateful for you.
We hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
We do.
Whether
you're listening to this not on Thanksgiving, but we hope in the past.
I said we hope you had wonderful Thanksgivings.
I didn't hear that because I was talking.
Exactly. And whether it was with family or friends that you were able to enjoy the day and find the gratitude. Mm-hmm. And we would love for you to share how gratitude makes a difference in your lives.
We really hope you get it and that you don't live to regret it. Be grateful, please.
And we're going to
Defy gravity.
Actually, I was thinking put you out of your misery of listening to Larkin sing through the entire podcast.
We do appreciate, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope they're able to find gratitude. And we would love to hear what you're grateful for.
And we're grateful
For you.
We're grateful
To all of you.
What? Let me talk.
No.
We're grateful that you listen to our podcast.
We are.
Yes.
We're grateful to our listeners, to our friends, to our family, which is us.
We don't have much in the way of family, so
we have
yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Anyway, we're just very thankful to all of you. And please make sure that you rate, review, subscribe,
And share.
Because the only way we're going to get to a place...
anywhere is if you share.
Correct.
I promise to sing a high note if you get us somewhere. But
Ooh.
not today, but maybe if you're kind. And if you share our podcast. I can't think of something that rhymes with kind because I've been drinking wine.
Oh.
Ish.
And on that note...
Over and out. We hope that you'll defy gravity
and listen to our podcast
now. Okay, bye.